What's up, weirdo? Shade Tree Surgeon here, up at Bert's Black Widow for a change instead of Bert's Barracuda. Now we're here with my man Jeff. Thank you. Jeff took care of everything. Come up here and ask for him by name because they told me and Shay Lisi to come up here and pick out a bike. And as always, I left it up to you guys. We did an Instagram Live, and everybody in the Instagram Live said we want to see you do a long-term test on a Pan America. And I was in the Instagram Live. I was kind of going like, I don't know, man. It seems like they can't. I'm not even making this up. It literally seems like they can't keep these things in stock. But I went and I talked to Jeff, and they said, you know what? For you, Shade Tree Surgeon, just to get you the hell out of the dealership and shut up. Over here yelling about everything. Shade's grabbing bicycles and just riding them around everywhere. They're like, if you'll shut up and leave, we'll get you on a Pan America. So that's what we did. The next long-term test bike in Brapstar Garage, 2021 Harley Davidson Pan America. Jeff, thank you, my man. No problem, brother. Apparently they're just going to let me drive away on this thing. Yeah, I didn't sign any papers. I didn't do anything. Yeah, and this is like a pretty expensive bike. Like, I don't know, man. Bert's is cool. They play it fast and loose here.
That's ridiculous. They made me pay for willing to host a freaking goblin.
Here's the thing. I know everyone's going to think this is already set up. I really didn't think we were going to be able to get a Pan America. I was like, nah, not a Pan America, because they're like every dealership only got like 2.
Well, that's because they're so ugly.
Hey, ugly is beautiful, all right? Usually when something's love it or hate it, I usually love it. And the Pan America is definitely a love it or hate it design.
It looks like a poor man's Ducati.
Yeah,
okay?
It's got a lot of character, baby.
All right, not going to waste any time here. 2021 Harley Davidson Pan America. I'm going to go ahead and jet out of here before anybody changes their mind about me taking this home. Let's see if I can figure this out, because I probably should have asked them how to... Seems pretty self-explanatory. I know it's got one of those starters that like you just press a button once and it starts. All by itself. I can't. I'm pretty shocked. Can't believe that they're letting me take this home, and because this is what I wanted to take home too. I know a lot of people hate it because it's so different, but I absolutely love adventure bikes. You know that I'm all into the dad jeans supreme, and I'm pretty excited to see Harley Davidson's take on one. Alright, well, it certainly sits like an ADV bike. Boom. Shade Tree Surgeon, first time on a Harley Davidson Pan America. Well, first things first, the seating position, exactly what you would be used to if you're used to riding dirt bikes and ADV bikes. Is exactly that upright. I like it a lot because I've got sciatic issues, so this like straight upright is actually a lot better for me than slouched. Well, that doesn't feel like a Harley, in so much as it feels like it revs really easy. I'm just kind of doing my first impressions right now. Obviously, I like to put a few thousand miles on a bike before I do a review on it. So today is not going to be anything even close to a review. This is just going to be seat of my pants. This is how I feel about the bike, which is always pretty much you love it, because how can you, I don't know how anybody who gets on a 2-wheeled internal combustion engine vehicle and just doesn't love it immediately. Every time I get on a bike, I'm just like, oh my God, I love it. I like bike. As far as height, I am 6'1", and I can completely flat foot it on one side. If I try to put both my feet down, I'm not on my tippy toes, I'm on the balls of my feet, but I feel like that's important. That's what everyone wants to know. So at 6'1", with regular boots on, I easily, with my knee bent even a little bit, I can flat foot on one side. And with big bikes like this, ADV bikes and sport bikes and anything that's tall, you pretty much usually are used to only putting one foot down at a time completely on the ground. Super light clutch pull, and very thankful. I looked down and I was like, man, that clutch pull's light. I wonder if it's hydraulic. Nope, cable clutch, man. I love that with all these bells and whistles and all this fancy stuff on this bike, that they still went ahead and kept it a cable clutch. Good move in my book anyway. I heard a couple of the guys say riding it feels kind of weird, but since I'm used to my Ducati Multistrada, it just feels like climbing on like any other bike. Like riding this bike feels super natural to me, super easy. But I love adventure bikes. I love dad jeans, and this is the Harley Davidson Dad Jeans Supreme. Maybe dad jeans with a little bit of a comfort flex in them, man, all right? This thing's built for sport, and that's why I love ADV bikes. Not necessarily because they can go off-road. I'm not really worried about that part, but it's because I like to go fast. I want a sport bike, but I'm kind of like too fat and ungainly and stupid looking to really ride a super sport. So basically ADV bikes are sport bikes for fat guys. I haven't cranked it open yet, but at 150 horsepower, I can already tell this thing screams, all right? And that's the cool thing about these is that ADV bikes, especially this one, 150 horsepower, it's right up there, dude. It's competing with everybody else. And this has got sport bike power, but with suspension that's not going to beat you up, and with a physical size that's not going to make you look like a meatball on a toothpick, all right? This bike is physically very large, which I like. I do not feel as though I make this bike look small. I feel like this is just proportioned great for me as a larger guy, and as a skinny guy, it's going to feel like a big bike, but it's also, it feels light, it feels flickable, it feels like it'll pull a wheelie pretty easily, but just the overall size of it makes me feel a lot more comfortable as to how I look on it. And let me tell you, if anybody wants to be like, it doesn't matter how you look on a bike, let me tell you, when you weigh 300 pounds, sometimes you care how you look on a bike. And normally I don't, because I'm just like, hey, I just want to have fun, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, but it's a concern sometimes. All right, time for a 100-mile blast back to Tampa on a very straight road. Not exactly, ooh, that's got a beat. I can dance to it. Not exactly the best place to test out the capabilities of a sport bike for fat guys or its dirt capabilities or anything like that. But as far as a long distance tour, hey, my first 100 miles are gonna be like, what does the seat feel like after sitting in it for a while? And speaking of off-road capabilities, even though I think that ADV bikes aren't necessarily like my first choice for off-road, I know a lot of guys care about that, but I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, Harley Davidson really missed the mark when they didn't call this the Dirt Glide, all right? Well, I'll tell you, 100 miles later, I still like it. Well, almost 100 miles later. My butt's probably a little bit done with the seat, ready for a little bit of a break, but I usually get off about every 100 miles anyway. And I'm used to traveling long distances, so my butt is probably like, hey, buddy, I know how far we've been. It's time to get off this thing and have a nice pickle in a pouch. Back to Trampa on the Harley Davidson Dirt Glide. Woo! It do glide though. Holy crap, this thing is fast. I'll tell you what, this it do be scooting though. I think you would find yourself hard pressed to get used to the power that this thing provides. Right now, I can tell you, I haven't even come close to pushing it to its limits. I bounced off the revolver once, but this feels like a very, very powerful bike. And one of the reasons I love big ADV bikes like this is just that it's like, holy crap. It just feels like a big dirt bike, Feels like a big fat dirt bike, and I really like that for the street. I mean, big fat dirt bike might not be so great for off-road, but for the street, gosh, it just feels like so flickable, so nice. It just wants to lift the front end right up off the ground. Now, I have spent some time on the BMW, not the GS, but the RS, which is essentially the same bike without quite as long travel suspension, but it doesn't even remind me of that, because BMWs have a very, very unique feel. What I can't shake, and maybe it's just the orange paint that's doing it to me, it feels like a KTM. It feels like Harley built a KTM. And that's not a bad thing. Well, for right now, let's go ahead and park this thing, because I need to evacuate the 2 Bang Miami Colas I managed to fit inside my body this morning. Okay, now that I've officially done a weight reduction on myself, let's get back on this thing, because just blasting down the highway here, not exactly the most fun thing to do in the world. And I'm so used to riding around my mail order Glide, the Bangkok bagger, that I'm immediately forgot, like, oh, wait a second, I don't have any luggage on this. So I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put my hat? And let me tell you, bringing a hat with you, muy importante when you have a ever-growing bald spot like I do. You don't go anywhere without a hat. Not gonna lie, I still hate this, like, just the bike starts itself thing. I like to be in control of the button, but I don't know, I guess the computer knows best on that one. More and more bikes and cars start up like that, so hey, there you go. I can back up pretty easily, even though I'm doing it on my toes. Again, if you're used to riding any kind of ADV bike or any kind of taller bike, this won't be a problem. It doesn't feel weird to me at all, but I'm used to riding dirt bikes. I'm used to riding my multi-strada, so if you're used to having your knees bent all the time, it might be a little bit of an adjustment procedure for you. Oh, here's something I have really missed, and that's not just a bike that goes fast in a straight line, but a bike that stops really well, man. I will tell you, the Brembo brakes on this bike are out of control, dude. They're so responsive. And trust me, I love sketchy bikes that go fast in a straight line without any semblance of brakes, but it sure is nice to be able to, nice. It is as we stop here perfectly, it is very confidence inspiring to go ahead and twist this throttle all the way wide open when you know you can stop like that without even breaking a sweat or engaging the ABS. Today is not about doing a review though. Anybody who can review a bike after putting a couple 100 miles on it, you shouldn't be reviewing bikes in my opinion. Today is just, a lot of today is just me freaking opening up this throttle and grinning real wide because this thing makes a lot of power. It go fast, it stop good, it make a cool sound, even if a lot of you guys aren't gonna like that that muffled sound. And of course I wish it was louder too, but the intake roar makes me happy at least. I'll tell you, the same guys who say they don't like this bike, having never ridden one, they're the same dudes who are picking freaking Lay's original potato chips out of their belly buttons while they critique people doing backflips on the Olympics, all right? I don't see how you could get on one of these things, twist the throttle wide open, and not immediately love this motorcycle. That's why I wait to make reviews on bikes. And even then, I don't really like doing reviews because, dude, let me tell you, man, if it's got two wheels and a motor, and sometimes even if it doesn't have a motor, I usually really like it. So it's hard for me to hate anything. And when you got 150 horsepower, a stance like this, it's basically a sport bike for fat guys, a hooligan machine for the city. It's hard to find anything you dislike about a machine right out of the gate. So any review for me would be like, just, I like bike, man. I don't know what to tell you. Dude, I almost just did a wheelie on accident there. I wasn't even trying. This thing is freaking powerful, dude. I mean, 150 horsepower. The 150 horsepower is no freaking joke, dude. And I had to put it in sport mode right off the bat because I think rider modes are stupid and I don't understand why they have them. I don't understand why I'd ever need, and I guess maybe it's just because I've been riding a motorcycle for longer. Not saying I'm the world's best rider. I'm probably a pretty crappy rider. But I don't understand getting a bike and not being like, nope, the mode that makes it as fast as possible. Everything else can suck, a big old fat one. Like, want me to put it in rain mode? Like, my rain mode is your throttle hand and your clutch, okay? But hey, that's just me. Some people like all those modes. And here's my favorite thing about ADV bikes being city bikes is just like, here, boom, let's go down this freaking over manhole covers, down this brick road. You are absolutely freaking fine, dude. It just feels plush, man. It doesn't even feel like you're going over anything bad. Whereas on a different bike, on a sport bike, you'd be rattling your freaking teeth out, man. Pretty much anything else in the world that makes 150 horsepower plus in motorcycle world, you're not going to be rolling over brick roads like they aren't even there, all right? And boom, potholes, manhole covers, it doesn't freaking matter, dude. I love ADV bikes. I really think that they are the perfect city bike and and touring bike and off-road bike, but for real, if you're just commuting in the city, you can stand up on it, you can see real far. It's like, there you go, it's like the SUV of motorcycles, except it's like the Lamborghini SUV of motorcycles, because boy, it freaking goes fast. I mean, not quite like the SUV because they don't come stock with luggage, I don't think. That's definitely going to be an add-on, but there you go, man. I'll probably end up getting like some soft Nelson rig luggage for this bike while I have it or something like that, because something tells me the big aluminum hard bags for this thing are probably going to be pretty expensive. And of course, no, I didn't buy this bike. Just to clarify, so everybody knows, I did not buy this motorcycle. I've got a great relationship with Bert's Harley Davidson. It's a handshake deal. They do not pay me at all. I have never received one single dollar ever from Bert's Harley Davidson. So Bert's Black Widow said, let's do another long-term demo bike. And that's what this is. This is a long-term demo bike where they give me the bike for pretty much as long as I want it. I mean, I'm sure if somebody came up and wanted to buy this bike, they'd go, hey, Shade Tree, you got to bring that bike back. Somebody really wants to buy it. But for as long as I have it, I'm allowed to do whatever I want with it and allowed to say whatever I want about it. And that's the difference between receiving a demo bike from a dealership and receiving a demo bike from a corporate entity. is when I receive this demo bike, mine comes with 0 rules, 0 obligations. That was the handshake deal that I made with Burt's, and that's the deal I still have. And that's why I really like them as a dealership. I think that they're way different than most other Harley Davidson dealerships. They've always treated me right. They've always been straight shooters. And that was my thing with them, is I said, hey, if we want to do something, if you'll give me a bike to ride, here's the rules. I got to be able to say and do whatever I want. I don't want to have any obligations, nothing written down, no rules. And they said okay. So they let some scumbag like me, some dirty hobo swamp wizard, just ride away on this brand new bike, and I'm allowed to do and say whatever I want with it. The Burt's is all right, man, okay? Oh, baby. Good looking car. Was that a Lotus? Man, those are cool cars. I need a tub full of Crisco and a shoehorn to fit my fat ass inside a Lotus, but I do think they're cool. And as I was saying, that's the really cool thing about adventure bikes, is you can be a big old round belly jiggling hobo swamp wizard, smelling bad, looking ugly motherfucker like me, and you can still ride one of these things comfortably. And I know y'all are out there. I've seen some of you guys at meetups. We the same people, all right? We're the same size, we're the same shape, we're in shape, and that shape is round. When you're round like I am and you want to go fast, these kind of bikes, this is your ticket right here, all right? Come on, man, even fat guys want to go fast too, okay? I really want to like ride it out there and take a picture next to the water in the sailboats, but something tells me that I'm on Davis Island right now, and the Davis Island cops do not play any games. They would probably be pretty upset with me. Oh, maybe I can get one here. Let's see. Ooh, brand new. That'd be the video. Brand new Harley Davidson adventure bike dumped right into the bay. Of course, Harley Davidson kickstands, always weird. This one's in a weird ass location, although it does work fine. Managed to get all my Instagram pictures without dropping the bike into Tampa Bay, into the sailboat graveyard over here. All right, do she turn on? I don't know if I'd ever get used to that. Better get off Davis Island with a bike this fast and this many rich people with this many cops and one small place surrounded on all sides by water. I tend to get a little bit nervous, so let's go ahead and exit stage left. I just love a bike like this where it's like, you know what, man? We're on a different bike, you might try to avoid potholes. On this bike, potholes just turn into ramps for wheelies, okay? Ooh, maybe not with the fuzz up there though, okay? Hey, we're just out here for a nice leisurely stroll, officer, all right? Just out for a nice putt-putt around the town on my Harley Davidson scooter, okay? Nothing to see here. Yes, sir. Just another nice, fine, law-abiding citizen wearing his helmet, being a good boy. Don't look at me. That's always one of the big drawbacks of the Ducati, is like when you roll past a cop on that Ducati on my old Multistrada, it just like you just take one look at that bike and you're like, okay, you've been breaking the law. You could have been going 5 miles under the speed limit. You were on top of that bright red dog dick Ducati and you just look like you've been breaking the law already. Whereas on this bike and most other adventure bikes, you look like a dues paying member of the Law-Abiding Citizens Club. Yeah, it does wheelies. All right, I better get this thing home before I really actually get into trouble on it, all right? After all, I might be acting like the lifestyles of the rich and dickheads over here on this, just getting brand new bikes whenever I want them, but, you know, I still gotta work for a living, and I do work tonight, so let's not break a leg or end up in jail before I go complete my bartending shift, okay? All right, well, heading into my shift for bartending at the Dirty Shame tonight, certainly a little more exciting on the Pan America than it is rolling in on my Gold Wing. And don't get me wrong, I love bartending. There's always just something a little anticlimactic about riding a motorcycle to work, because whenever you're on a bike and you're heading in for your shift, you always kind of want to just keep going instead of heading in. All right, I find my body to be completely bang free, and since I was up at 8 a.m. to ride to Port Charlotte to pick this thing up, and I got to work till 4 a.m., let's go ahead and stop by the Metro Market real quick and remedy my blood bang energy drink levels. God, it's gonna take a minute to get used to that kickstand. Thanks, man. Take it easy. Don't worry, all 4 aren't for me. Got some for Kirby, too. Oh, gosh, that's right. Okay, yeah, no. Zero storage right now. We're gonna have to do the old hang it off the freaking mirror right now. Well, luckily, we're not going far. I really got to do something about getting some bags on this thing. The Goldwing will spoil you. Come on, buddy. You can do it. I promise. Oh, tourist traffic here in Ybor. Always a little bit of a dangerous proposition. Come on, guys. All right. Oh, time to park the bike and get ready for my 12-hour shift behind bars. But don't worry. I don't think that this bike's going to stay parked for long because I might be working tonight, but Richard isn't. And he just got his BMW back from service, but I know he's going to want to take this thing out. So this bike will be out having fun even if I'm not. Yeah, that didn't take long.
I lost my voice at the bar last night. So here is my comprehensive, in-depth, and thorough full review of the 2021 Harley Davidson Pan America. Bike go fast, bike make wheelie, bike do cool sound. I like bike. Till next time y'all, keep it weird.